Thank you. You're welcome. You're welcome. You're welcome, everyone. You're welcome. Thank you. Thank you. Well, I just want to use this opportunity to thank each and every one of you. The scripture that I was reading this morning that speaks to me says, I was glad when they said unto me, let us go to the house of the Lord. Um, God always call ordinary people to do something that is ordinary, and later on, people will begin to see that there is the handwork of God that make the ordinary to be extraordinary. Now, in what I'm doing, I'm finding diverse ways to make it easier for me so that I'm able to reach as many people as possible and be able to be available. The greatest thing God needs from each and every one of us is availability. If you are available, one of the greatest things you are going to fight in your life, if you are going to be a great person, is time. Time is going to be the most important because when you look around you, if you're on your way to achieving something that is worth, that is going to affect human history, you're going to discover that time is going to be the most important thing or the greatest enemy. And how you schedule that time is going to be very, very important, especially to rest, especially to sit and work. It's going to be very, very important. For some people who have never experienced um, being given bulky work to do, you won't understand what we are talking about. When you are praised by people from every nation who want a piece of your time and to experience and be in your presence, it becomes a priority. You won't even have time to develop a friendship with people, talk less um, of doing things for yourself, except you are very ordered and you are willing to let go of things that you have to let go. Because one of the most important thing I'm afraid that might happen, and that is going to happen, is if you are called into writing books that is going to direct human life, sometimes that takes the rest of your life. And so the ability to balance being available for people to access you and also to be able to sit down to write, able to sit down to journal, able to sit down to do your email. For example, for a while, I've not even been on Twitter or even on Facebook or Google Plus or Tumblr or Pinterest to put in some words there and so on. It's not that those things are where the real thing is. The real thing is not in those places. The real thing is out there where people really are. The real thing that you're going to pursue in life is not in the church. If you are looking at Christians and you are looking at the church for your money, you're wasting your time because the real money is out there in the world. Money is not only, it's not just in the system of God, it's a very little. The real money is when you give the world out there what you are naturally talented to do. I was listening to Louis Armstrong being interviewed. I mean, it was an interview that was made before he died, I think last month, um, in Las Vegas. That man was playing music until he was 89 or so. And I mean, I remember when I live in California and we will go to the wine country and his show would sell out. He was playing music, blues, sitting. He sits to play. He couldn't even stand. And his voice was still going strong. And they asked him why he chose to play blues, whereas he was a church boy. He said, well, on Sunday afternoon, he will put a hat by the street corner and play church music. People, the church folks, because they've heard these church songs before, even if it's new ones, they were dropping little dimes and nickels into his hat. He couldn't take care of himself with that. So next Sunday, he put his hat down there by the side of the corner of the street. He changed the song from church song to blues to worldly music, and the money started flowing. In a few minutes, that hat was filled. Right there and then, he decided that he's not gonna sing church songs. He's not gonna sing any Christian song. For those of you watching on Ustream, this thing is always tricky. Excuse me. 1 second. Whenever you do the Ustream, you have to type in the microphone. It wasn't working then, but I've corrected it. Okay. So he decided to use his talent in the world out there. And what that happened, it opened doors for him. Doors were open for him in the world. I am sharing with you this morning that your talent and giftedness is needed in the world out there. Don't try to hide in the church or try to use your gift only within the church, the four corners of the church, because that's not going to give you neither money nor will it give you what you need in life. And that's what I understand by God did not send his son into the world to judge them but that the world might be saved through him. God's greatest interest is in the world out there. And that's why many a time he goes to the world there to pick somebody, get the person saved, that somebody who is ignorant, not somebody who is fighting God. God doesn't use people who are fighting him, who out of their sheer will fights him or do not want him. He goes out to the world to look for people who will be willing. God must see in you that you are willing and that greed, selfishness is not your motivation. Greed for money, greed for power, greed for control is not your motivation. If you have that, God won't come for you. God will always come for people who are tough-minded, who can make decisions, but who are soft spirit. You have tender spirit, but a tough mind. And that's the greatest thing that I seek from God. I have a tender spirit. I now need a tough mind so that when I make major decisions, I just stand by it. That's why angels have this quality. They have tender spirit and tough mind. They only speak when it's necessary. The rest of the time they are quiet and mind whatever the business they are asked to do. If you look at the life of the greatest people in the world, they came from the church. The church didn't give them opportunity to either experience the greatness of their talents or bring them the money that they need to care for themselves or their families. Neither fame, no, nothing. And those people always leave the church and they go into the world to use their gift and they succeed. One of my greatest musicians is a Concha Buika from Equatorial Guinea that the father played from Equatorial Guinea to Spain. She She tried to sing with the church. The priest wouldn't allow him. They told her that her voice was unclean. She sings like a dog. Her voice was like almost like a male's sharp voice and deep. What has a girl like that got to do in the choir? So you know what she did? She ignored the Roman Catholic priest. She ignored him and said, watch me and see what I'm gonna become. Boyka left Spain and lived in Las Vegas as Tina Turner lookalike. She used to dress and try to sing like Tina Turner to make money to survive. Until she found her own voice. She was discovered by pushing herself. And the next thing we know, she started releasing her own albums. Going back to the gypsy roots of Spanish flamenco music, which I love very much. And today, where is that priest to come and talk? Last night, the Holy Spirit said this to me. Those who boo you, who mock you, who glee at your trials and error. If you see, the thing that is going to stop you in life is not God, it's not the Holy Ghost, it's not angels, it's not good people. It is when you are not sure of who you are. There are so many people who think that they are really sure of who they are. But when you say one word could threaten their entire life and destroy it. And dictators have learned how to use words and actions to put people where they are not supposed to be for the rest of their lives. Because, see, let me tell you this. If the devil knows that you can easily be hurt, he will use people to continue to hurt you, to continue to irritate you. There are many of you who think that you're in control of your life, you're in control of your situation. All I can do is say a bad word to you or just do something. And you will see that you're a slave. Because a slave is somebody whom somebody can just, like a marionette, somebody can just push your button and instantly you react. A non-slave, somebody will push your button and you will smile and ignore him because it doesn't enter your skin. It's not part of you. You know what you want in life. You're like, dude, how are you? And the person will be shocked because they thought that they're going to make you mad. If what people say and do not make you mad, then you are ready for life. Somebody doesn't want you, you move on because along the way you are going to find somebody who really, really likes you just the way you are. But if one person doesn't like you and you are reacting, you are complaining, or one problem in your life, if one particular thing happens and you are done with life, you are mad with everybody, then you are not ready for life. You lose a case in the court and you are mad, everything is helpless, hopeless, then you are not ready for life. People accuse you for stuff. People didn't treat you right. And you are mad at the entire world. Then you are not yet ready for life. Because the same people who boo you, who mocks you, when you achieve greatness, those same people will be standing at the same corner of the street where they mock you, where they boo you, and they will stand with the rest of the crowd to cheer you up. If you did not know that, know it. It was last night the Holy Ghost told me that. Let me read it to you. He said to me, he said to me, do not allow anybody to stop your progress, because the same people who boo you on your way to progress to stop you, the same people who laugh at your failure, will be the same people who line up on the street with the rest of the others to cheer you up and to say how great you are when you achieve success. There you go. That's how it is in this world. The greatest people that I struggle doing ministry with are people who are easily pushed by circumstances, by other people's words, so that they cannot focus and achieve a goal. There are people who have so many plans, but not one single goal. There's a difference between plans and goals. Plan is the different things you want to achieve. A goal is what you are focused on. That's the difference. Plans are the different things you want to achieve, but the goal is what you want to focus on and complete it. If you don't complete it, you don't sleep, you don't rest, your entire mindset is on that. The Holy Spirit began to talk to me again about the secrecy. There are two secrets God has given to me to become a great personality. If I focus on those two, everything is easy for me in the world. I can do anything, I can be anything. Two most important gifts, and I'm not sharing it with anybody. If you have those two things, you're good to go. I have studied every life of every man of God that is worth the name man or woman of God on the earth. Right from the Old Testament through the New Testament to our present generation. What made them to be who they are? What was their secret of success? I don't just buy other people's books, whether worldly books, because I read a lot of worldly novels, romance, name it, war. I love those stuff. Excuse me, let me just make sure. Okay, so all right. Don't limit yourself to just Christian books or Christian stuff. There is a lot of things out in the world that you need that will help build you up. I have read of every man and woman who are great in their field of expertise, whether in history, in politics, in leadership, or in church business. The reason I buy books is not to gain knowledge, sort of, or to say I've read that book, or everybody rush at it, or to watch a movie. No. I watch or buy a movie or buy a book to read for one purpose, to discover the secret of the author. In any novel, in anything written, you want to discover the greatness of the author. That's the main thing. You want to pick out one thing that is going to help you. I have looked at the history of every successful people who had a church background. They never had success in the church. Their success is always in the world. And it is in the world that I belong. Your ministry must affect the world. Look at Whitney Houston. She sang in the choir. Did she find her life in the choir? No. Where did she find life and money and greatness? In the world. We can continue to name artists, movie stars, people who came from the church. And the church gave them no opportunity of becoming anything. And they left to the world. And in the world, they find their voice, they find their place, they found their money, they found their millions and billions. So don't limit your talent. For those of you that God has called me, God has done this, God has done that. Good luck. I always tell people, after getting all the education and the ordination, you are just starting. Because you have to look out there and see the wider world. You have to go there. That's where your food is. That's where everything you need is in the world. It's not in the church. When I was migrating to America, I went to a church, my denomination, to even help me in certain things they couldn't. I went to the world. The world helped me. See, that's how it is. So don't limit yourself that the world is a bad place. The devil is there. The devil doesn't own the world. He controls the system out there. He controls the system. But it doesn't mean that he owns the world out there. And even when we say the system, it does not mean the system of the world out there, because there are a lot of good people and good things in the world. God has dumped a lot of goodies in the world out there. You go to the world to bring it to the church. You don't go to the church to bring it to the world. No, it's not that way. The only thing the church has is the gospel. But when you are looking for the money and the material resources, it is in the world. That's where you go to do business. If you limit yourself to the four corners of the world, of the church, it's gonna destroy you. Because it's too small. I always know that I'm a big fish. I've known it all along. Where I was too small a water. A big fish requires the ocean. If you are a whale, a dolphin, a sea lion, seals, you don't need a river. You need the ocean. That's your aim in life. I am looking at the ocean. That is where I belong. Why many of you are failing in life is because you belong to the ocean and you are trying to make a life in the lake or in the river. And the river and the lake is already full of people who have given up on life, who want to take it easy. Easy come, easy go. The ocean is where the real thing happens. And the water is big enough. I want two places. The wider world out there, the open space up there, the open sky is huge. And I want the ocean. It's huge. Those are the three big places that I want to play games with. That's where I want to function. And if you think that way, everything will go well with you. You need the wide, big space of the sky. It's huge. You need the huge ocean out there. And you need the big world out there. Don't let anybody limit you. That's what God has spoken to me. On today that we celebrate the anniversary of our ministry, my ordination, and my birthday, three things at the same time, I want to thank each and every one of you. And I'm using this opportunity to invite those of you who want to discover your destiny to join me in that quest. You will. And when you discover it, go into it. Find the resources. find the resources in the world to do it. Please hold on a minute. Hello? Hello?
This message is from Cox Communications calling to confirm your appointment. Para español, por favor, oprime el número 8. Your service appointment is scheduled for Thursday, June 18th between 8 a.m. and 10 a.m. To confirm your appointment, please press 1. If you are not, thank you. Your appointment has been confirmed.
Okay.
This line is now on hold.
Hello? Is everybody still there?
This line is now on hold.
Okay, can everyone hear me?
Yes.
Okay.
I can now.
Okay, let's continue. I was confirming an appointment. I have the Cox people coming in to come and do some work here in the house today. So that's what I was confirming it on my cell phone. I'm using my cell phone to dial to the conference this morning. God has asked me to share this with you. Do not spend your time with people who make you mad. There is a place for you in the world for you to function. Don't go about looking. If you can employ yourself and raise your own money, you do not need to go about looking for a job. Because in 10 years' time, you will be the one giving jobs to people. That's how this thing is. If you cannot stand other people giving you orders, then you need to begin to do something about your life. Today, as we kick off our appreciation a day and birthday and all of that, I welcome you to our ministry, new partners, and so on. Tonight at 9 p.m., we'll be having the official service at 9 p.m. It will be a short service of just Thanksgiving, and that's it. I want to say to you, thank you for joining me. I am not yet satisfied with where I am. I'm not satisfied. It's almost like I've not yet even started when I look at the many things that I have to do in life. I don't know which way the wind gonna blow, but there's one thing I know. I've started, and I'm not going back. A lot of time is gonna be required of me to spend to develop the business side of the ministry. And a lot of time is gonna require from me to be away from people to be with God. And if you are not used to not hearing from me, not seeing me for months, you have to get used to it. Because at the time, God said to Moses, come to the mountain. And people are going to get used to him not being there. See, it's one thing for people to want me to talk to me every day. But it's a different thing for them to understand the source of the power. For them, it's very good for you to see your little God all the time, your little idol all the time, and to feel good and to be part of it. But for that thing to function, it requires constant connection with who makes it to be. I'm also having an insight into some various changes that are going to happen immediately. And that's how this thing works. As you climb, those who want to go with you will go. Those who want to drop will drop. That's how this thing works. Those who are ready, go with you. Those who are not, stay there and complain. God is giving all of us an opportunity during this weekend for us to come to the cloud, come to the mountain with Him. The reason is there's a big money waiting for you. There are good things waiting for you. but you must pay the price of presence and discovering what you're asked to do, and you decide to do it. I'll see you at 9 p.m. tonight Central Time. Thank you. Bye bye.